well, at a certain point, obviously you hit that crossroad when you're finally like, okay, I'm gonna go 100%
Yep.
real estate. Was that scary at all?
Heck yeah. Because I mean, we're groomed to go to college and
get a job.
to get a job to work for somebody. Now this is a different arena. It's you eat what you kill. This is your sales, 100% commission. So totally different. Totally different game, man.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
All right, welcome to another episode of Your Peak Life podcast. DJ Julian Rivera, Edgar the Sphere Munoz, and we got two awesome guests here that you may have seen around town somewhere. I don't know, maybe playing golf or at least trying to, maybe at a recent home inspection because somebody, just asked them to be there. Probably on stage getting stage fright, talking like Batman. You could also see that as well. I mean, there's 1,000 different places you guys could have seen them, but currently we have them right here, right for you guys. We got the one and only Kyle Myers and Steven Batman Doe. Give it up, everybody.
What's up?
The crowd goes wild.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. So I wasn't the only one that thought of
Bro, his wife jokes him every day about this since
She
Saturday.
still jokes me. It was because Julian said, "Put the mic closer to your mouth," and I was like, "I thought they couldn't hear me. I thought
that's why
people couldn't hear me." So I was like, I get into this mode where if I get nervous,
Well,
I
my mind went straight to your Asian side. It was like, "Hello, everybody."
This is the Batmobile. Don't come down to the cave.
My wife was like, "He sounds like Batman. He sounds like an old Asian guy."
The Christian Bale Batman, too, just to be clear. That's
that was my nerves, man.
I was so happy. I was like, I can't do any worse than that.
No.
he kicked it off.
No, I did.
And then he stepped forward to do it.
Yeah.
He did. Well, if you wonder what we're talking about, so we just recently had our 2024 award ceremony. Yes, I know it's 25, but we got to let the year season. We got to make sure all the numbers are in. We got to make sure we're doing this correctly so all of our agents can get the recognition they deserve. And they just attended their first Iron Valley Award ceremony, and we brought them on stage because we want to introduce them. They're two of the newest members of Iron Valley Norfolk, Iron Valley overall as a family, and we now know that Kyle's way better at Steven in public speaking. So that's really what it's solidified
I will
right
agree
there.
to that.
What did you guys think about the show?
Phenomenal.
Show. We had a show?
We had a show. I didn't even know we paid for.
Hey, by the
I
way,
did.
I saw a lady tossing around fire rings.
I just had random people come
"Whoa,
like,
what the
"Oh, the
hell?"
dancers and the fire." I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
I was like, "We paid for that?" Oh, cool. Yeah.
To be fair, I'd like to surprise you guys.
Well, it was great.
Yeah.
And the confetti.
Yes.
dope.
Man, dude,
Yes.
that was a real
I wish
good
I knew
touch.
so I could
Real
record it
good touch.
myself too.
Yeah, that was
Whatever.
cool.
Yeah.
But we had
that was a
videographers.
phenomenal event. Biggest thing I've ever seen. That's really awesome.
At least
great venue.
The venue's dope. I mean, the Grammy Theater,
Yeah,
shout
I
out to
want to
Grant.
reserve it already for
And
next year.
Well, I got another thing we'll talk about offline that,
Gotcha.
it's just hard to one up that. And just to be fair,
is. That
is
it's a very hard to one up. But even doing that every year is a win. To be fair, shout out to Grant and his whole crew. They killed it over there. But you guys were able to attend this. This was not your first real estate awards gala, for lack of better words, because you came from, your previous lives over there. But just tell us about you guys, because, we just introduced you to the Iron Valley family. You guys have now been here for a while. But we'll kick off with Steven because we know he's great kicking things off. So we want to just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where the Batcave is located, all that good stuff.
Hi, my name is Steven Dale. I like long walks on the beach. No, seriously, I'm a native of Virginia Beach, born and raised. Went to Princess Anne High School, graduated from Old Dominion University in nuclear medicine technology. So again, worked in even after college, worked in the medical field at Chesapeake Regional Medical Center for like 10 years before I got licensed. And the only reason why I got licensed was for investment purposes. So
Your own investment purposes?
me and two other partners, we got together and started flipping houses, things like that. And things took off a lot faster than I anticipated. It was just supposed to be.
What years was this?
This was I got licensed in the end of 2014. So like November, December of 2014 is when I got my license. Like my first full year in real estate in 2015. I blew up a lot faster, and there was a lot of clients that I took on So my investment stuff had to take a little bit of a back seat, but that was the main purpose of, we were doing investments before I even got licensed. We used a lot of agents prior to me getting my license. And the main reason why I got my license was just to get access to houses faster. That was the only purpose for it. I had no anticipation of becoming an agent and doing all that. I loved my job. I loved Chesapeake Regional Medical Center. Great place to work. Still is a great place to work. I still know a lot of the folks there. But things just took off a lot faster, which was great. One thing I realized in the real estate world was there's no ceiling. There's no cap. You make as much as you want to work.
Yep.
So the amount of work you put in is what you're going to get out of it. So I like that aspect of the real estate game.
One question.
Yep.
I don't think I asked you this. Like, why nuclear medicine? Like, there's medicine, there's nuclear medicine. Like, what's the fields there?
I like. I mean, really, it's a great field to get into. A lot of physics-based stuff, math stuff. You're in client care, so a lot of it, patient care and taking care of clients, which is another aspect of what I brought over from the medical field over to real estate, because we all work together as a common goal to help out the patient.
Right.
And I do the same thing in the real estate field. So I think that helped carry a lot of traits over.
Yeah.
To
Not
real
as smart as
estate,
Steven. I was in the press machine. I was making the tablets. Making pills and soft chews.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Yeah. At what time, well, at a certain point, obviously you hit that crossroad when you're finally like, okay, I'm going to go 100%
Yep.
real estate. Was that scary at all?
Heck yeah. Because I mean, we're groomed to go to college and
get a job.
to get a job to work for somebody. Now this is a different arena. It's you eat what you kill. This is your sales, 100% commission. So totally different. Totally different game, man. But it's fun because this is going to be your life. You got to work. You got to earn it. And man, if I can turn every job into a sales commission position, this is how you're gonna tell who you got.
Who's really out for it and willing to put in the hours, real hours.
Right.
Yeah. How Miss Doe? How was that support system?
Oh man, so yeah, she was phenomenal. So she supported it throughout.
It's not what I heard.
Oh, she was scared as heck too because we already had 2 young kids.
Yeah. Yep.
We had 2 young kids and she was pregnant with our third. So when I made that jump, it was pretty nerve-wracking, but I saw my pipeline. I knew what I was walking into. I could understand, the projections and everything that was going on. So I made a calculated risk. I feel like I think it was
in the Wild Wild West. Like, let's just go and figure it out.
Yeah. It wasn't. I'm not that foolish.
Okay.
I mean, seeing how things worked out. Seeing how things worked out. Obviously it worked out for the better, but I made a calculated risk knowing that my pipeline was pretty full.
So your timeline, 2015 was the light bulb moment? Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah, it was a lot faster than I thought because I really thought, I was like, if I ever make this move full time into real estate, I was like, maybe 5-6 years.
Right.
It happened in the first year. And
So you got licensed in 15 as well? Or
my license. So I worked at the hospital from 2005-6.
Okay.
To about 2015.
And then you started with your investments around what time frame?
That was probably a year or two before. A year before.
Still getting into it. You got a few, let's just say, wins on your belt, right? In lack of better words. And then it sounds like you had a year of that entrepreneur life. I always deem that world that you're working the 9 to 5 so you can go work your 9 to 2 or whatever else you want to say, right?
Yep.
So you were marrying both of those worlds for a while. And being in the medical field, and in real estate, you have to care about your client or your patient. That's very important. Client care, patient care, 100%. Same thing. How are you able to marry for those 12 months, let's just call it a year, those 2 worlds together seamlessly without, going all gray, not just salt and pepper like you are now?
Yeah, right. So I had a great staff around me too.
Okay.
I got to credit a lot to the people I worked with. They were always able to get my back. If I had to step out for an inspection or to help
Okay.
clients out, they would help take on some shifts or
At the hospital.
Oh,
that's dope. Okay.
They probably don't want me saying that
But yeah.
because that's a conflict of interest. They probably don't want me saying that because I was
Right.
But shout out to all. Of
Yeah.
Shout out to the squad, right?
But yeah, for real, they always
Talk
held me
about
down.
client care, right?
Right.
Right. They helped me out, and that's what alleviated a lot of stress or a lot of time, so I can devote some time to the real estate world.
I mean, the good news is that you probably realized that sooner than later you would need help. Like with Edgar, for example, it took him a lot longer to realize he needed the help. So like usually with men, what happens when you do it and it takes a lot longer, you start losing hair. He obviously took forever to figure out that he needed help. But with that being said, I'm not far away either, as you can tell, because I know where he's about to go. I know where he's about to go. So it's like Eminem and 8 Mile. You can't joke me if I say the joke first, dog. So
No, I can
see what I'm saying?
definitely say
So
the
I mean, you can, but he tries to grow it back. We can see the cul-de-sacs are real.
I'm
I'm almost
I
there.
asked him, I was like, can I do the finger measurement? He's
Oh,
like,
it's a forehead. That's what they wrote me after, bro. But yours is like the head. Yours is the
I
whole
shaved my
sphere.
head.
No, obviously you didn't because you're trying to grow it back. This is his fro. This is an afro right there for him. Anyways, where I'm getting at is your team allowed you to keep your hair. That's good. So you haven't relied on the team. And since 2015 to now, it's 2025, full-blown 10 years in the game now.
Yeah.
You get it, and you still have a strong team with you. The Stephen Doe team, right?
Yeah, yep.
So tell us about the people that's on your team and
Yeah, I
where you
mean,
guys are.
some of the greatest people that you could ever work with, and we all have each other's back. We do the same thing, just like we talked about. Like I translated most of the stuff that I learned from working at a hospital to running my team and with our clients. But a lot of them still have full-time jobs too.
Yeah.
At some point, I would like to get them to run into full-time, but we got to work at everybody's comfort
Baby
zone
steps.
and levels
did you
and things like
did you
that.
meet him at doing medicine, like your team, or is
No,
it just
they all
a
came from
variety?
all over the place.
Okay.
Alex is in the medical field too, and he's at CHKD,
Right.
pretty high level up there. Ryan, actually, he's the only one I know from nuclear medicine. He's still currently doing nuclear medicine right now.
Nothing wrong with Nuke Med, man. That's a
and
damn
he's-
good
And
field.
he's doing really well.
How many shifts did he cover?
That's
Yeah,
first thought, right?
No,
That was
no
my
kidding.
first thought.
But yeah, John's former military. John and Connie, former military. And Marcel, she's my full time, and she helps me with my
Beast,
admin stuff,
yes.
and she transaction coordination.
Yep.
She's the lifeline for me right now.
So then somewhere along the way, within the past few years, you ended up crossing paths with this guy right over here.
Yeah. Yep.
Is Mr. Kyle Myers. So, the young gun, Mr. Magic Hollow in the flesh right here. I just want to say I'm impressed with the work ethic, especially the past few months, because you're living two lives right now and going back and forth. But just tell us everything about Kyle Myers really quick, man.
To sum it up, I'm not necessarily from here, but I've been raised here since I was about 3.
You're from here.
So I'm from here.
Same here. Yeah.
Originally born in Maryland, which is cool because my daughter was just born in Maryland as well, so that worked out.
Right.
But yeah, just kind of I told myself I would never join the military because I grew up here and it's all military.
Liar.
And I realized that associate's degrees don't pay bills. So I had my daughter, and I'll still to this day, she's the one who changed my life.
Yeah.
Found out I was having her and joined the military.
How old were you when you had her?
I was 23.
Okay.
So did 8 years, ranked up pretty quickly, made chief in 7.
4 more than Edgar. That's cool.
Yeah, pretty, I was always kind of never satisfied, right? So sailor year as a 3rd class, sailor year as a 2nd class, sailor year as a 1st class, made chief, did all the max out, everything. And then
I didn't know you made chief. That's impressive. All right, cool.
Then I had the opportunity to get out, and
What year was that?
that was 3 years ago,
Okay.
about 3.5 years ago in October. Yeah, so 3.5.
Okay.
A lot of it had to do with my kids as well, just simply because I was a single dad.
Okay.
So as far as the schedule goes, getting them to school, stuff like that,
Right.
That always weighed more on me, and still does.
Right.
As you can see, I'm in Northern Virginia. We can get into that.
Right.
But that's my number one, right? I thought real estate would be flexible.
Everyone does.
What's the meme, like people say, oh, I'm going to quit my job to do my own thing so I have more time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's total opposite.
Yeah.
That's true. So yeah, did that. My dad said I should probably join real estate. I didn't just jump right into it. I knew I was getting out of the military, so my father does a lot of marine construction in the area, but also he's a Nova, Virginia Beach guy, kind of like how I am, and we did the same amount of time in the military, so it's really weird how things are panning out.
Right.
I had a girl, boy, girl. He had a girl, boy, girl. pretty mimicking each other. So he goes up Northern Virginia and does work, some big work. Down here, I started doing bulkheads. And I realized really quick, although I was in great shape, started building bulkheads around the area, Chesapeake, Volvo Parkway, Plantation Lakes, North End. In the summertime, it was cool. But then as soon as it started getting a little colder, I was like, maybe I should take the real estate thing a little bit more serious so I don't have to be outside. And then kind of jumped into it that way. I had my first deal. I wasn't licensed yet, and I had to have somebody else do it. And the guy was just waiting on me. He was like, no, I'm just going to wait for you to be a realtor, and then I'll buy a house. I'm like, well, thanks, bro. So
Nice.
that's how that kind of just transited as as quick as possible. Quick story.
Yeah.
That's me. But I grew up here. Yeah, basketball, baseball. Lane Parkway, Magic Hollow, like you said.
When did you get into golf?
I got into golf actually
He's still not into golf. But
5 years ago. Oh, no, hold on. I got out 3 years ago. I started, 6 to 7 years ago. It was my second command. The guy was like, you want to go golf? We got out of class early. Hovercraft golf is part of the hovercraft community, LCACs and stuff, flying those. We got out of school really early, like Friday at like 9. He's like, I'm going to go golf on base. Do you want to go? And for proper podcast words, I said, no, golf is not a fun sport. I don't want to play that sport. Turns out I watched him do so bad, I was like, there's no way. I just went to have a beer. He was like, just come have a beer with me. He did so bad, I was like, I have to be better than this. So I picked up a golf club, and that was it. As soon as I whiffed my first ball, I was like, I'm going to hit this thing.
That was
we
the
haven't
first
looked
time I
back.
played. Like, watching Doe, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
I'm doing worse than Doe at pickleball. Like, no way. No way.
That sums that up.
So it sounded like you had a light bulb moment there with golf. You were just going for a beer, and you're like, I'm good. I didn't want to. But then you're like, all right, you picked it up. You kept it going. And then you had another light bulb, that epiphany. Was it that client that was sitting there waiting for you? And then you got your license. You went through the process. And then you're like, you know what? I can do this. Was it that one? Or was it a few more families that you helped down the road that made you realize, like, you know what? I'm not doing imposter syndrome. This is actually something that I know I can do.
That's actually a really good question. I think when I knew I could do it and I think I was successful in the military because, this could be a negative thing, it could be a positive thing. But when people need me to do a task and I perform it,
right?
I love it. I love knowing people can count on me. Like, that's my juice. Like I'll take, sometimes it could be negative because you're like, don't worry, I got it. Don't worry, I got it. And then it's 8 p.m. and you're like, I just took on 7 months worth of work. This is great. But yeah, I think as people started reaching out and I was like, wait, he's counting on me. Wait, she's counting on me.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess them up or screw them, because I tell people all the time, I was very honest, like, hey, I'm brand new to this. Like, I got a mentor. I got your back. Trust me, I will make sure everything goes right. But I don't really know everything yet. So, and people tend to trust. So I think that was my light bulb switch when it was like, wait, I can just be who I was.
Yeah.
A little more flexible, take the kids to school, 8 a.m., pick them up at 2:30 p.m., and just be who I was, really. But with no ceiling. Like, that was a great, with no ceiling.
With both and you too, Edgar, because none of us are perfect, right? There's always been balls that have been dropped, and we have multiple light bulb moments, even to this day, in the game. Not necessarily solidifying that we're supposed to be here, but more so we can always be better. And what is the next piece of software? Who's the next person? What is the next thing that we need to do to improve ourselves? Can you recall one of the times that you dropped the ball? It was no one's fault but your own, and you realized that was your light bulb moment to level up, or to back down. And I'll start with mine, okay? So this is the first year in real estate, and I'm going heavy, right? This is COVID time too, so y'all already know how that is. But let me rephrase it. My first full year in real estate, I didn't have a TC at the time. I'm doing everything. I had like 9 deals going at once. It's like May, primo spring market. Life is good. I'm good. I thought I'm organized, right? I got my Google Docs. I'm good. I get this. I'm in it every day, 3 times a day minimum, doing calls. I'm still feeling like I got this, right? Like no issues. This is what taught me to limit when I go do home showings to buyers to 5 in a day, right? Because you start thinking house A had kitchen B, and kitchen B was the same backyard in house 5. Like, everything starts going together in one day, right?
Yeah.
So I put an offer on a house for the wrong client. But
Off on the house for the wrong client.
and these are two completely leads. I didn't know them, right? Like, I didn't have the know, like, and trust factor already. I did based on just the rapport and building with them and showing them houses and talking to them. But, everything's moving very quickly. There's multiple offer situations. It's just that world that we're living in at the time. What I ended up doing is getting both of the clients on the call. They didn't even know each other.
Oh, shit.
Two
Wow.
completely different ones.
Nice.
And I was straight up with them. I told them exactly what happened. And they were like, you know what? we thank you for this. I'm like, however, this is a very easy fix because it was just an offer. We're not under contract, and we lost the damn house anyway. Even with the offer we had, just to be clear. But that's how crazy, not just for you guys out there as buyers are, that's how crazy it is for us trying to make sure we're staying on top of everything for you.
100%.
I was able to still get both of those into a house, which is great. That made me realize I need to get a TC. That was my light bulb moment. Like, I need to get somebody in here that can keep me accountable for my actions, because there's stuff that happens still to this day, right? But majority of it's behind the scenes, and nobody will ever know unless we tell them, right? Because it just stuff happens. There's so many moving pieces. So that was my light bulb moment, knowing I needed to level up, because I already felt that I was meant to be in this industry. It was like just feeding my vibe. It's something that I felt I thrived on, but that was my number one. What about you guys? Who wants to go first? Like, what was a moment?
I mean, for me, it was just tracking the leads. Exactly what you were going through.
Yeah.
That was the moment where I realized I needed some kind of tracker, because I had a team of agents and I'm divvying out leads. And it's like 30 days later, for some reason, that lead's name would come up. And I'm like, who the hell did I give this lead to? Who has this? Who's working this person?
Right.
Are they even following up? Obviously, I'm not.
Right.
So then I start just going through all the leads, text messages and everything. That's time consuming. And then I'm asking the agents, like, hey, what's going on with this person? I don't have that person. Yeah, you do. I sent you this text right here, this date, whatever. That's when I hired a full-time admin. And that's when I hired Christy. More importantly, I needed somebody, not necessarily for admin skills, but to create databases.
Chrissy's a beast. Shout out to you, by the way.
And she has a degree in that, things like that. So I interviewed for a few months, and I finally found her. And thank you, Christy. She came on board, and she actually created databases for damn near the whole company and all the teams here, and got my spreadsheets all in order. And also timelines, she smacks the agents in the back of the head, like when PMDs are due, PICRAs. But then my net went up, because now the trackers were on point. Now I knew somebody was telling me, hey, follow up with this agent. They have XYZ clients. And now I'm being a little more pushy with the agents to convert, because that's very important, because I'm looking at two different agents. Same amount of lead flow, let's just say, for example. I give you each 8 clients. One's only closing 1 deal. The other one's closing 6 out of the 8.
Right.
What the fuck's the difference?
Yeah.
Comes down to training. Now I know I need to focus, for example, on Kyle more on what's happening over the phone. So now we're doing the calls together, things like that, to tighten up the conversations with the people, doing a proper buyer consultation and things like that, or getting the clients through there. But either way, production went up. So we went from closing 30 mil to 50 mil, for example, as a team. But that was the moment. I just realized there was a ton of clients that I had no clue where they were at, or if they were even shopping.
Right. Steven's perfect, he has no issues.
Mine's not necessarily from a system standpoint or anything like that, more from a deeper point of like, just recently, really, to be honest with you, because I think you can start leveling up. All of us here, even in the back room, we're always leveling up.
Always.
That's not even a question. But I think you can get caught up in the leveling up. So I realized I needed to level up personally, from like a mental standpoint and a family standpoint. Of you're leveling up so much, you get, you didn't even realize your son just came down the stairs, tried to talk to you, and then went upstairs, and you only catch the end of it. When they shut the door and it's like, oh, he just said something, or you get a text message, but I'm responding to a client who's really not even going to buy a home for 3 to 4 months, which I take pride in, because I really do care and I really want to solve that problem for him. But now I'm doing that, and I didn't even respond to Tatiana. Like she just texted me about the baby and everything. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just
not present.
I'll let her go 4 hours, but I'm talking to her. So it comes a point to where I think just really these past couple months, and I think the baby did it for me, to be honest. For those who don't know, I just had a newborn baby, 8 weeks. 15th she'll be 2 months. But as far as that goes, I think it was a little bit more like, okay, you can still operate at an extreme high level if you got the right systems, which is meeting certain people and talking to them and stuff like that. You can still take care of people and take care of yourself. You think it's either or. If I'm taking care of all these people and I'm doing high volume, I can't take care of myself. You can still do both. So as far as when the level up was more of a personal thing for me of, you know what? I don't need to get my mom to get the kid from the soccer game. I can go to the soccer game.
Yeah.
The client's still going to trust me and knows I'm doing my best job. You just have to communicate that, you know? So it's just one of those, that was my level up moment of like, look, you can still be the best for somebody and still be the best for yourself, you know? It's kind of like a big touch.
I can go back off of that. I mean, I think the work-life balance is critical. That's a big part of it, especially for what we do, because we can get consumed into work. We will. I mean, this industry. Let's be honest. Everybody gets just consumed with work, but trying to make sure that you can balance your home life too with it and your quality of life. So if you had to ask what my light bulb moment was, or where I slipped up and had a light bulb moment, it's when my wife got pregnant. That's I guess. Whoops, my mistake. I guess I got light bulb. I got to work harder.
No, it's a big one. It's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, no, that really was it. It's like when she got pregnant, I was like, oh shit.
Wait, with the first or second or third?
Shit, all three, man.
Okay.
I had 3 accidents. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, the kids don't look at this.
Yeah. I love you all. I'm supposed to say that. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, we if I had to be honest, we didn't expect the first one. Second one was planned. Third one out of nowhere. That was a big one. And then that's when I was making that transition into real estate. So that's where
And the third one.
Yeah, the third
Got
one.
it.
That was where things got scary.
They didn't learn about contraceptives.
Yeah,
until after the third one.
I
Got it.
To be honest, I think I got tricked. I think I got swindled. But that's okay. I love
He
you
was
now,
at
babe.
nuclear,
I love you now.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
He was a medicine, not contraceptives.
Different field. That was down
Two
the hall.
different fields. Yeah. They don't mesh.
So light bulb moment. I mean, you're bringing life into this world. Obviously, that's huge.
Yeah, but
That's-
now you have to take care of that life.
that is
right?
very true.
So,
I mean, it's your choice, but you chose to.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's a good thing. You know.
So some of the things that, to kind of go off of what Kyle was saying, is just trying to balance that work and life. The biggest one that hit me was playing with the kids in the backyard, and I get a phone call.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking these phone calls, and I had to stop playing with them because I'm taking this phone call, and my daughter has to tell me, "No phones, Daddy. No phones." Boom, light bulb.
Yep.
Shit. Let me control this.
now
a
let's
little
be
bit.
honest. That still happens.
Still happens. Still happens.
It does, but it actually helps more. It helps your business more because then you learn how to delegate, and then you become more intentional for both. And it actually
Makes you more efficient for
Yeah,
sure,
it
because you know
does.
that, okay, I have to
But
go
it does
home
still
and take
happen.
care of my kids.
Wait,
So
which way? All right. So you're saying right now,
So like tasks,
Paint the
I think the tasks have to be done
Yes.
before you fully commit to the events with your children.
Correct.
Like every Friday night, it's movie night, games with the kids.
so a call comes in Friday night, 6 o'clock in the middle of the movie. What happens? And nobody else in your squad can do it.
Oh, quick 5 minutes. Hey, we got like I tell them now.
right.
Whereas before,
Yes.
I think for newer agents, or I don't know where they're at in their career, even 10, 20 years or whatever the fuck they're at, like it's not a bad thing to convey to the client that this is my time with
Oh,
my
for sure.
family.
That's key. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's key.
Like before, I would try to hide it. Like,
Yeah.
Full blown
you got all my time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is my time. So it would be a 5-minute call. Hey, how you doing? Okay, yeah, just text me that so I have it in writing. I'll get back to you by tomorrow. But that'll be the first task I, tackle tomorrow morning or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's movie night.
Yep.
That's it. Like I'm just conveying exactly what I'm doing.
So then, I mean, everyone has their stop times, their schedules. Everyone wants to be intentional. That's the goal here. So, like, even for all the wives listening right now, of the 4 of us, our goal is never to not be present. Our goal is never not to do something positive. That's never the goal. It's just we're going with the punches and just the way this industry is. In theory, majority of our clients work 9 to 5s. So that means our hours are before or after that. In theory, maybe a lunch break, but that's the only time in a perfect world scenario. But most of the time it's after 5 and all weekends, and I always relate that back to my DJ world. It's the same concept. Nobody goes to a party during work hours unless it's that one time a year it's a holiday party or something.
Did you notice
What?
something?
What?
How badass this party was from 6 to 11 for us old folks?
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
It was
I
good.
think we need more of those events.
I don't
I'm just
disagree.
saying.
I agree completely.
Put that out.
Yeah.
Put a goat like me in the room. We'll put everything together, and then I don't care what time it is. It could be a coffee shop party before noon. We'll make it work, bro. Matter of fact, that's the next time we're gonna do our holiday party, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Call it brunch and beats, and then we're gonna have a good
Bunch
time.
of beats.
All right.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. I think to our points is just being actually present. I've made a big effort in the last couple of years of like we're gonna be playing games with the kids. I'm gonna be at their events, but not only that, they see me present.
Yeah.
So if my kid is the last thing that we just had coincidentally was a spelling bee, right? Every time he says his little words, he looks over to me because he got it. And I'm not on my phone.
Yeah,
Like he's got my full attention. Daddy's watching. So
That's huge.
yeah. I won't look at my phone. I don't care. It is what it is. Though in our business, it's not like life or death or nothing.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
and that's
99.9% of the time it's not.
Yeah, it's
There's no emergency,
absolutely not.
especially on the weekend. We can't do anything about it anyway.
I mean, that's true. On the weekend, we got to
unless
wait
you
till Monday.
You got an actual contract, and day of closing or whatever. There's other parties that could coordinate for you.
Yeah,
The
right.
lender can get involved. The title companies can get involved, and things like
Yeah.
that. If there's an addendum that needs to be written, then you got TCs and things like that for you that could help out, which are all in that same communication thread.
So all of you have, in your own way, figured it out, right? We're always learning. Everything's evolving.
I ain't
Everything's
figured
getting
nothing
there.
out, man.
Obviously, no, I was talking to
roll
them,
with
not
the-
you.
okay.
No, but seriously though,
Yeah,
you guys have figured.
You know about contraceptives, right?
you guys,
You figured that out.
Hopefully, got that part.
Still don't.
But you guys
Fourth one
you
might
guys have
come.
been very successful in your own lanes, in your own world. You guys never worked together at the same firm, but you guys work together now. But now that you guys have made a move, pun intended, over to Iron Valley, what was that light bulb moment? What was the why making the shift on over to just making a shift in general? That's a big deal. It's a big choice.
And I'm gonna put something out there I think people don't know. I was at Stephen Doe's first recruiting meeting, which I wasn't an owner yet. It was Eric Edwards. He's like, "Hey man, you want to go get some lunch?" Sure.
He just says yes to food.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we were meeting Stephen Doe.
Okay.
It happened
We
to be
were at the
Mexican
same
food.
firm together, but we never met there. And just show up. It was like, "Oh, this is Stephen Doe." I was like, "Oh shit, what's up, man?" But even then, he didn't move.
Right.
Yeah.
That was years ago.
That was. I remember it. I remember. I was like, damn, y'all brought your bodyguard out? Shit.
The driver.
Yeah, driver.
I was there. And I was like, he was so disappointed we didn't go to the Asian restaurant. I was like, sorry, I only like Mexican.
Yeah, two choices. I'm just saying. But I mean, you made your move. Like, what was the why? Again, it happens to be here, Iron Valley. It happens to be with us. But in general, there has to be. Again, I'm gonna keep coining it a light bulb moment
So-
when that happens.
I mean, for me, like coming over, seeing the vibe, the culture, it's completely different than anything I've ever experienced. I've been at 2 other companies before, and it's way different. The energy is it's great. It makes you want to come in and work and be present and grind, because this type of work is a grind.
Yeah.
But also the leadership, seeing how you guys collab, you guys get together and work together to make it bigger. It's something that it makes anybody want to be a part of. I've been watching, to be honest, Mike Little and Eric Edwards from the beginning. I think I first met them when they were at my Real Producers cover magazine. That's when I really first met them.
Got you. And that was decades ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Different picture.
But then just watching how they evolved,
in
like
high school at that
you know what I'm saying, like you say it all the time, game recognizes game.
Game recognizes game.
I knew who they were, they knew who I was, but I just watched them. All of us, eventually, you want to level up and you
Yeah.
want to evolve and stuff. But I watched them take you, Edgar and Edwin, and then blowing it up even further. And you guys, I think you guys hit it hard. And expanded. So watching you and LJ come in to be a part of it, and I've watched you since you started. I mean, shoot, you crushed it from the get go.
But I was following your footsteps, to be fair.
No, man, I'm following your footsteps now. but I mean, again, yeah, I knew you before you got into real estate, but just being able to watch everybody come up and then come up together.
Right, right.
You know, it's something that you want to be a part of.
That collaboration over competition
Yeah.
mantra, you know, it's almost been like cliche now because people say it, doesn't mean they live it, but like it's in the blood here. I mean,
Yeah,
it really is, and that's
that
one
was
thing.
part
I
of
say.
our like even spiel when we would talk to agents. I was like, the biggest secret is we have no secrets.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's what we would say.
So I watched that. You know, I always, you know, ask you certain questions to kind of see how, and you were always upfront with everything. And you told the honest truth. You know what I'm saying, about everything. You were an open book. So I was like, man, that's kind of how I am.
Yeah, and it's like, take it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
And for the general agent that's coming up, it's like, no, this is exactly what I do. This is a lead source that I have or whatever, and this is what other people are doing that I know of, right?
Right.
Those agents or team leads or whatever, like these were my mistakes, and these are the different types or styles of teams that I see you could do.
Right.
But it's up to the individual to take whatever and actually implement it and execute, which we all know most people don't.
Facts.
Right.
But if you want the info, yeah, you can have it. But we know that a lot of people are just not going to do what we're doing.
Dude, it's like this. We didn't have this growing up. Every kid and teenager has this growing up, AKA every answer that you would ever need in the world. Any way you can make money, any way you can do this is here. Bro, we used to have the Dewey Decimal System. We have to get Encyclopedia Britannica. We had to go to a library. And we had dial-up at best. Like a lot of us, we can give the playbook, but most won't still use it, even when it's so easily accessible nowadays.
Yeah.
It's just crazy on how that is, but it's true. But you guys decided to use a playbook, and you developed kind of your own, and you remixed it. But you had a light bulb moment too, and I don't want to overshadow that. So what was your why? You were talking about leveling up before. You did that for years in a row. Like I didn't even know you were chief in the military in 8 years. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But you decided
I was a dog.
I mean, you are a dog. I mean, not was. You are. You still currently are. But you wanted to bow out and grow.
Yeah.
With no cap. You know what I'm saying? Like no shade in military, Navy, nothing like that. You outside of that, you figured something out. Then you wanted to make a shift. So what was that moment for you? What was that thought process like for you?
So I am one of the people I've learned at a younger age to listen and to, you know, if somebody writes a book, you should probably read it. If somebody says some things and they're talking things, you should probably listen.
Yeah.
I do listen a little bit though.
Do you?
Just so you know.
I'm just kidding.
But, you know, like word gets around, the buzz gets around, right? So people I'm talking to, you know, even Brandon and the home inspections or like certain other people just saying like, hey, Iron Valley's doing do your thing, right? Doing your thing. So you're not wise to just turn an ear to it and not pay attention to what's going on, you know? And a big thing for me too on the shift is I can always tell what's going on by the lowest person.
Okay.
Just like in any military division, anything, you can always tell the weakest link is what the perception is, my personal opinion. That's just me. So when you're watching somebody migrate towards the leadership and seeing the people, I'm not saying lower as in individuals, but we all get awards for different volumes and we all get different, you know, accolades and different things. So not lesser of an individual, but just maybe the new agent or the one who kind of doesn't know what's going on, the one that's not a social butterfly that you got to teach. You know, the one that you have to push just a little bit. Like I kind of see from that aspect and looking up there, and at that point, with everybody, the camaraderie and everybody kind of rooting behind y'all as well as leaders, it kind of makes you look like, okay, I have a dog in the fight. These people are doing volume. They are producing. They are doing this. And when I say I mean like the agent, not me personally.
Right.
Like they can gravitate towards that. It's not just a stagnant environment, you know. So that was kind of a big, just catching on to the buzz and then kind of just seeing everybody in the way that the flock migrates, right? It's kind of like, okay, there's a lot of good things going on. And the level of expertise, the more experts you get in the field, the more you can teach. And obviously I've said teach because it's big to me, but, you know, it's kind of like, all right, you know, you pick up what they're putting down. Eventually you listen.
Yeah.
You know? And then as you know, me and him are together. Not like that.
I was about to say, pause.
But you know, we were friends before this.
Yeah.
And not even at the same brokerage, total opposite. Like just because we weren't even in the same
Which
place.
I thought was cool.
Yeah, seriously.
Seeing you guys are in business together and friends. And I think that's where a lot of the agents drop the ball, where they put their guard up just because I'm at a different brokerage. And
Exactly.
I've literally had agents tell me we can't take a picture together because I don't.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
They don't
I
want
don't
that
want
vibe to go that.
you know, put it out there that we talk.
Yeah,
Like,
But you're going to do business together in some form or fashion. So, like, you might write a contract on your listing or something like
Correct.
that. It needs to be more of a collaborative effort. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
that's what you're saying.
We're out there just we see the numbers and you know, we pull up the top 2,000 and that's the bulk of the work in our area, right?
Yeah.
Those are the agents that are doing bulk of the work, and we're going to see each other again. And I don't think I've done a deal with any one of you guys in here, which is crazy.
No. Is that right?
We
But that
have.
also goes to show, you know, how often that does happen, right? Like I have not done a deal with any. I think we almost did one together, but it didn't happen. But that's
17,000 transactions
Right.
happen here. There's plenty.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, and it just goes to show, you know, like the light bulb movement was that as well as just like the trend. You always try to, you know, from that standpoint.
But I think being around with bigger hitters, like with sharks, right? It's great to be like the top agent at you know whatever brokerage, but you can't learn from anybody there. So that's another good thing about being over here is that you're with dogs, you're with people that grind and hustle and top producers. What's that? What do they say? Iron sharpens iron.
Right.
So being over here with other higher level agents is going to make your game better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is just on me for a second. It just happened, but I didn't. It hit me differently this past Saturday when we're giving out the awards and we're doing that. That was actually my first Iron Valley Awards gala ceremony to be a part of. They wanted me to spin last year's, but I just wasn't available. But now this year I get to coordinate. I get to be like the whole thing. Like it's dope to have everybody in there in like a world that I'm used to. But when we're giving out like the awards, like I was number one for a while where I was at month over month over month. And I love that, but growth, right? You get stagnant, you get complacent, you get happy. Like dope. All right. Oh, fuck, he's going to be it next month. All right, cool. Like, and then you start hearing those vibes in the background. Small little jokes here, but that's cool. But I don't need to be number one in the room. I'm top 5 in the company. It's dope, but I'm not number one. I'm like, I got some work to do. That's what comes back into your head when you're not at that level anymore.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I like that because I would rather be a very strong number 2 or 3 instead of number 1 all the time, because that means I usually will never get complacent. I know that about myself at least. And that's DJing, that's almost anything. Because once you hit number 1, everyone's after you, but then the only way you can go is down.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like you can never continue to go
the
up.
thing is, how do you level up? Like, who do you turn to? You know,
Right,
like,
that's
Yeah,
true.
and then
That's
that's
true.
where sometimes those people are outside of the company, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the marketing comes in sometimes also, where people, and I've told you this, it's like, and we've literally experienced it together where we're just talking, somebody walks in the room, it's like, oh my God, Steven, how you doing, man? Big fan, right? And it's like, this
It's his
guy.
Christmas, it was his Christmas video. That's what it was.
But it's like, that is what people come over to, or that some companies like really rely on that. Like, this is
Yeah,
our agent,
yeah.
you have access to him,
Yes.
you join us.
Facts.
And that's not the truth.
But
That's
the
so
reality is, you don't have access to him because he's busy.
no, whereas here the difference is like, no, we really do sell houses. No, you really do get to talk to us on a one-on-one level if you want to. And what I appreciate what you guys are doing right now is the mentorship program. That video you just put out, that's great.
Yeah, that's something that
Like,
I'm
that's
extremely
exactly what
passionate
I'm
about.
talking about. Like, no, we really talk and walk this. Like, I have one-on-one meetings with a lot of our agents throughout the week. I don't promote it, but everybody in-house knows that.
Yeah.
Like, I sit down with teams. I teach them not only just the real estate side, but how to take your numbers and leverage that with your marketing agreement. Like, why shouldn't you get another raise?
Yeah.
You literally, these lenders, title companies, you're kind of living off our hard work on generating leads or whatever, you know, because they're not out there getting that. They're a lot of these companies are getting into relationships with agents to get the business, not with the actual clients.
Of course.
So it's like, no, leverage your numbers, because a lot of agents don't do that. They don't even know they
Don't
could have
even
done
know. That's the key, you know.
that,
Don't even know.
they could do that. It's like,
One thing I like on the collaboration over competition, because you guys didn't work at the same brokerage, but you guys were able to collab and launch Mad Home Inspections, which is I compare that to like how Iron Valley started, right?
Yeah,
and then they just started growing. Like you guys started and you're just growing like at an exponential rate because you guys decided to collab. Talk a little bit more about that. And shout out to Brandon, who's not here, who's like the heart and soul of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
Which we interviewed, and he was still active dude.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Did not know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looked good on the film. He looked good. He'll be rad. For a minute there, we were worried.
Yeah.
You know,
He was
inside joke. He knows what I'm talking about. No, that was me and Dale already knew each other. It was just being in the right thing. Greenbrier Country Club. We actually are real golfers. I'm a real golfer. He's turned into
Just 'cause
he's
you
turned
pay
into
for
pickleball
membership.
lately. Yeah, he's turned into
Hey,
pickleball.
look. I have most of his money. That's what matters.
That's true. But that's kind of how it happened. Is the collab over competition was more. We had a great person, Brandon, just offer that, and then as far as like being together, we at first you're kind of like, wait, should be doing this? Should I not be doing this? Is this the right approach? Is this the wrong approach? Is this person going to be? You can't please everybody, right?
Yeah, no.
But I think from our standpoint is, let's be honest, like we're all realtors, and most everybody is. Like that's one of the most scariest parts of the whole real estate.
Yeah, it
is
is.
the home inspection.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think with you don't get into something like that with people you can't trust or that don't have good names,
Right.
Because at the end of the day, and I hope everybody thinks this, could be too much, but people know they can call me, and I'm at the end of the day, I'm gonna lose some of mine to take care of you if something was wrong or something was gonna happen. Like we're gonna make it squared away.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows Stephen Doe's name. Heart of gold. So I think having that collab was a no-brainer because when you meet Brandon as well, we
Solid guy.
had that
Yeah.
story about, I don't know if I told about the 10K story, him returning cash.
Yep.
And that's a small portion of it. So when you have somebody like that who trusts us, who trusts each other, I think the common end of it was just like, listen, at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't agree with this or don't want it, they're losing.
Yeah.
Because you literally got probably the best customer service team.
Right.
I mean, my
around
biggest
right
thing.
now,
Just to go off of what you said, it's people, right? Like, so I'm a big supporter of people. If I see a genuine person that works hard, that has a good head on his shoulders, like Brandon, for example. I mean, once you meet him, solid dude. I'll back that guy anytime. Yeah. Same thing with Kyle. Just knowing who you're going into business with is kind of a big deal.
And his mom's really running that back end.
Yeah. Well, that was a big part of it, was
Miss Jean.
pulling in his family. Who's going to take better care of his business
Yeah.
than his family?
Than his
you know
mom,
what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, than his mom, So that was something that we had discussed when we brought her in. And she does a phenomenal job. I'm talking about she takes care of all the bookings. She's in tune with all the agents and the clients.
That's cool.
So that was a big part of it too.
And it brings collab throughout every brokerage.
Yeah.
Like this isn't just a, hey, we have our thing for certain people to use. Like there's, shout out to Tiffany Weaver, right? Like we've created a bond over this. She's not at this broker. Like it creates collab over competition. Like it really does.
No, it does. I mean, I've used a couple of home inspection companies. I could tell you I've never been to a client event. Not only clients, like the actual client, like the real estate agents. And it was cool to be at the last MAD event. I met a couple other agents from other firms who, like we talked about, we're doing business. We do business together. We only see each other online, but to physically meet these people it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. The first one was awesome. Like y'all showed so much love. Like I didn't even really know anybody yet. Like our first one was my year and a half, maybe 2 years in the industry.
Right.
So to show up to the first MAD event and have Iron Valley support and then have other brokerages come in, it was like, this is cool. Like
But that goes to show the type of business, the quality business that you guys are running there.
Yeah.
Because who better to run a company like that agents, because that's where the deals fall apart.
Yeah.
How many times has it happened where the home inspector is not available to answer those questions for your clients? Like, hey, it says the condenser needs to be cleaned. Condenser sounds like terrible, right? Like it needs to be serviced. Literally grab a water hose. Like, it's not a big deal.
But wait, that's not enough.
The anti-siphon valves are missing.
Oh my gosh, we need to get that done. I think we need to back out the house. I don't know if we can do that.
Anti-tipping bracket. Oh, the oven's gonna fall.
Oh
into
my
it. We're
gosh,
done.
nope.
Yeah.
My kid's gonna burn the house down. We gotta leave.
But you have a home inspector who's actually like,
And that's
explaining
that's a big reason why we came up with this too. Was we've all done a lot of business and we've all used home inspectors, and not all of them deliver the type of service that us as agents expect.
Right.
Don't convey clarity.
Don't convey clarity. Communicating with the client is big. Communication. Number one, you have to have a thorough home inspection. 100%. You got to have a thorough home inspection. But knowing how to convey that material to the client to inform them, but not scare them, not just scare them off of something that's small.
I don't even find it offensive when they're reaching out to the clients, be like, hey, because of the age of the house, maybe you might want to get that or that sewer line inspected, get that scoped. Yeah, maybe we should, right? There was a big ass tree in the front of the house, and it's actually saved me on a couple of deals because and you guys are not expensive.
Yeah.
I think I paid on that one where we actually found a root. One we found a root, the other one there was like a metal piece in there. We don't know how the hell that got in there, but $150, I believe, for sewer scope.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the thing is that small investment could potentially save you from a big disaster. So that's where home inspections are vital or critical to the transaction. But just making sure that the client gets.
But the other part of your business is you guys actually like each other, get along with each other.
I suppose.
Everything from
No, I'm just kidding.
From like our side, like that's what I see. You guys are always together.
Yeah.
Like,
He's taught me so much in life, man.
It's mutual.
I hate giving him a compliment, but he's taught me so much in life already. And then the group that we created, even Brandon's taught me. Y'all have already taught me things. Like it's pretty cool. It really is. It's definitely cool.
I think I'll teach him how to wear different socks when it's not golfing day outside. But it's okay.
Being in a uniform for 8 years, I told myself I'm always going to try to.
Yeah, you still got the utility pants on.
They take the hair away, too. I don't have any hair down here.
It's like we got RG3 over here, the white version. It's okay. He got different socks.
I get compliments.
Nah, they're fresh. I'm messing with you. But with that being said, you guys are now here. You guys are Iron Valley family. You guys will be experiencing your first Iron Valley conference come March 8th.
Yep.
There's a lot of firsts you're going to be experiencing this year, and we're kicking off the year on a high note. So the first one was, the awards gala just happened this past weekend. Next will be Elevate. You also were able to fly with us out to Phoenix, and we experienced, the Glove Review, the whole, camaraderie that we have over here that really pushes
some corporate relationships.
Corporate relationships that you've seen already. You've seen a lot really quick. It's like drinking out of a fire hose. Remember when you first got into real estate and it'll just balls to the wall, crazy. Same concept when you come over.
We just said that the other day, me and you. I think we were talking. I was like, "Well, I got to slow down. I'm doing this.
Slow down to just so you can sponge it in. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're understanding it and then develop the systems.
You guys stepped into real estate when it was like booming too. So
that's all we know is like the craziness. To be fair,
no, I was in it before 2017.
So the thing is,
I
was like, well, I wasn't that busy when I first started.
Well, we started buying houses in 2016. So really, but I wasn't licensed yet then. I was. To be fair, I was cool taking my time. I didn't really need access. I wasn't moving that fast. But one of the things that I'm super happy about, and I said this on a previous podcast episode, that 2023 solidified me as I know I'm supposed to be here, and 24 is to avoid any imposter syndrome that I still had there, to ensure that I'm really meant to be here for the long haul, and I smashed all my goals in that one. So I don't have that in me anymore, thinking that it's a maybe, that I was a accidental real estate, as we call it, or that I was a COVID baby, because there's so many of those that are not in the game anymore. Well, we know that.
They say 90% fail. That's a real statistic.
Yes.
90% fail. Only 10% of agents are actually doing the work in our industry.
And then what was the NAR thing that came out? 76% of agents nationwide didn't have a sale. Yeah. So then what's the other one? They said that 80% of the work is done by 20% of the agents, but now it's graduated more to 90% of the work is done by 10% of the agents.
Yeah,
somewhere around that. That's not accurate, but it's shortened because now it's really just a stronger pool because a lot of people are just bowing out. Yeah, because they actually got to freaking work now. I mean, fine. I'm cool with that. Exactly. I'm more than happy with that
because they also give us a bad name. Also,
correct.
Those one-offs that aren't really.
And the problem with our industry is they think everybody thinks, oh, I'll just get rich quick. No, I'll become a real estate agent.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Show me that pill.
And then they don't realize it requires a lot
you get
of
that
work
first
and time.
$40,000, $70,000 tax bill, and you ain't ready. They don't teach you all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference of working a regular 9-to-5 job. Because before, when I worked at the hospital, once I got off work, I'm done.
Yeah,
I don't have to think about work anymore.
Right.
Here, you're on the clock 24/7.
Yep.
All day long, weekends included.
Yep.
So
don't you miss that though? Sometimes being able to just bow out.
I do. I miss that a lot. Too. I mean, I know my kids miss that, but
you ever show your kids?
What was that?
That movie you were in? Bloodsport
Jesus.
against Van Dam. You ever
Against
show
Van
that? I can't let it go.
But
He's referring to Bolo Young guys.
yes. But I also, I know the kids were very helpful in his most recent campaign run, but he didn't win. But that was cool too. That was a really, really big help. I really appreciate you trying to give back to the
Oh, he looked
community.
just like him.
Okay, so
Doesn't it?
beautiful.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. You look at the
Running
old
for Senate.
top producer magazines, they don't look like this. He actually got skating.
I did.
You look
That
way
was
different.
That's
That's
a
a different
That was a different one. Yeah,
Julian.
that was when I started caring about myself. The day after that, picture.
That was Julian needed tacos.
That was Guardo Julian Rivera. Yeah. Anyways, guys, leave us with something that you want to be able to look back on this podcast in a year when you know you did this, that you want to be able to say, you know what, this was my thought process then, but now this is my thought process being here after a year. Let me say this a different way. I want you to leave kind of a mental note for yourselves, and verbally saying it out loud, that you want to, as like an Easter egg for you to come back and at the end of the podcast that you want to answer in a year. You see what I'm saying? Like, give yourself a question. Give yourself something that of substance that you know we'll get. You know what I'm saying? And it can be something very easy, very basic, or something that maybe only you, Brandon, and Steven understand. Like an inside joke. Don't think too hard on it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm grinding.
I'm trying to think.
I'll start off with one off the top of my head. Okay.
Yeah.
Today's what? This won't air till March,
Yeah,
right? So this is February 2025, right around Valentine's Day. So will my Q1 next year be where I want it to be, starting with the seeds that are planted today, including an expansion, other ancillaries, and most importantly, all of my family members maintaining their health. When I come back this time next year and I look at this year later, I want to see if those answers are where I know I want them to be.
Can I just use that one?
Yeah, times two.
There's a blanket.
I kind of did that on purpose to help you guys out, and that was off the top of my head. So
That's pretty damn good because that's what I would be thinking. If,
I mean, I
if that
think
was a
everybody has
question.
those thoughts. Like mine would probably be, well, one, can I beat Stephen Doe this year in real estate?
yes,
Um,
I like it.
And two-
That's what I like.
two, how many people can I get to like instill the trust in me this year?
okay,
As far as building, like how many people can follow suit? Because I think right now after the third year, again, I'm not a vet, right? But I think now people are kind of like, hey Kyle, how are you doing this in real estate? Like you kind of get the old friends to reach out,
Yep,
like, hey, I'm thinking about joining real estate. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What company? Hey, why are you at Iron Valley? Hey, why are you? I think now is like the year for me to kind of like, again, here I go back to like the helping stage and not taking, but trying to see who I can teach and kind of come under that. Like how many more people can I get? Because I'm solo and like everybody has big teams and everybody has this. And I got John, shout out to John. He's active duty Navy though, right?
Yeah.
So I think how many people can I get to kind of follow suit and teach and show love and stuff like that. So we'll see how that ends up in the next year.
I'm adding 100 million to our sales volume. That's all.
Yeah. My biggest thing is I like to see I see where Iron Valley, Norfolk is right now. I want to see where we can build that next year.
okay,
So when we do this podcast next year,
deal. Q1 podcast.
Let's
Put
see
it on
how
the
that
calendars
looks.
now. Send the email invite out. Thank you. All right, guys.
Gotcha.
Perfect. He just did it. That was fast. All right, another episode of Your Peak Life. DJ Julian Rivera signing out. Edgar Munoz, Kyle Myers, the Doe, the Batman, the Legend. Later.
You hear me?
Bye, bye.